This is the last day, of course, for our Origin series. You'll be a casters for the second and last series for the day. I'm Yuko alongside Miss X Council.
Hi, Yuko. Nice to see you again. Really excited to get into this final series. It is an old favorite of the European scene. X-Tribe EU, now NTNT, versus going up against Team Queso. I think, unarguably, these are the two best teams that we have in our region right now. Team Queso just definitely winning out a kind of edge over Game Lord, especially yesterday, which is very important, I think, just in terms of their confidence in the European scene. But NTNT, I think, undoubtedly right now are the team to beat.
Yeah, yesterday even in the player VODs, we see a lot of players actually have a lot of respect for No Team, No Talent. But then again, this is a best of 5. So question is, who will win and will we see 5 games?
Let's see how the first game goes. I'll give you your answer after the first game.
Alrighty, so of course, without further ado, let's hop into the pick and ban phase. I'm waiting for X-Scoundrel prediction then and there. So Lee Sin could be a ban. A lot of teams are also banning out Xin Zhao, but now we have a Gragas, not a Gragas, a Varus ban for No Team, No Talent.
Yeah, that's a pretty common ban at high elo in Europe, especially. I think a lot of European AD carries see Varus as one of the most powerful AD carries, especially when you have things like Camille banned and Akali being a perma ban. So a lot of the answers to Varus are kind of like popular bans right now, which is why Varus has now kind of become a popular ban in his own right. Senna in competitive because of the prevalence of fasting Senna and just how powerful that is in coordinated team play, and obviously Ziggs continues to be probably the most banned champion in Wild Rift Esports since its very inception. And as you correctly called it, Yuko, Doom is having that Xin Zhao banned away from him.
So like the usual top picks will not be available, but that leaves Corki, Gragas, Camille open. No Team, No Talent. They want to have their hands on this Corki. Could be in the mid lane, could be in the Jaguar lane, and right on cue, Camille for Team Queso.
Team Queso, look, there is a common kind of like talking point about Team Queso in high elo in Europe right now, and it's that they play the same drafts every single game. I can tell you what their mid lane is going to be already. It's going to be Ahri, and that sort of top lane trio of Camille, Kha'Zix, Ahri is a very, very, very common pickup for Team Queso. So it worked for them yesterday versus Game Lord. They're obviously coming in to NTNT with the same mindset. These are basically what I would consider the one-trick champions of Acolyte, Andre, and Ruiz, and I think they're very happy to lock that in. Memorized played the most Rakan out of any support that he has played in competitive, so that's no surprise there. With Xayah not on the table, I mean, I would be thinking Xayah. This would be the classic Team Queso draft if this was Xayah, and obviously with Rakan you'd expect that. But that is Doom's Riven jungle. I think this is Doom's Riven jungle here, which is going to be very interesting.
Of course, and X-Scoundrel is from the future. He perfectly called the draft for Team K. So he did say, the data do not lie. It will be an AD solution for their side. So that is going to be the pick and bans for game number 1. I know you guys are excited. So let's scooch over to game number 1.
Oh, it is Riven Jungle, Yuko. I have not seen this much in competitive, but I know, having played with Doom in solo queue, this is something that he really does like to play. What I think is going to work here for NT versus Team Queso that didn't really work for Game Lord previously was the fact that I don't really think that Random was able to take advantage of this Fiora Camille matchup the way that you should be able to. I really feel like Leon, who is an absolute Fiora mentalist, like he's so good at Fiora, I think he'll be able to exploit this matchup a little bit more heavily. In this Snitch, he's just playing a very safe mid laner, can't get easily caught out by the Ahri. You always have that backup of the Valkyrie to keep you out of those rough situations. So I think right now in every lane, NTNT are pretty set versus the comfort that Team Queso have brought to the table.
That I would have to agree with. As you can see, they just really read the draft like a book. And now it is going to be the standard start for NTNT. You mentioned this with your cast with Deza 2. Leon, arguably one of the best Baron laners, if not the best here in Europe. So let's see how well will he be able to play this Fiora.
It's an easier matchup against the Camille for a couple of reasons. You outrange her with your lunge. In fact, Fiora outranges pretty much everybody with her lunge. And secondly, when she uses her Hextech Ultimatum, you can actually just riposte it. So you completely negate her ultimate with just your second ability, which is pretty ridiculous. And so it's a very easy way to actually deal with Fiora in the side lane matchup. Plus, Fiora scales just as hard as Camille does in that side lane matchup, and so the 1v1 always stays in favor of Fiora.
So Some pokes here and there coming through from Lucian and Rakan. Rakan did use the Grand Entrance earlier, but no actual commitments from NTNT just yet. Kha'Zix is nowhere near the Dragon Lane as well, but looking at the top part, Doom will just be able to get his buff. And consistently, ever since we hopped into game number 1, Leon has been just harassing Acolyte on this Camille with the reasons that Expoundry already told us. Now, looking into the mid lane, Snitch is going to be A-okay as well. No actual invades, no jungle takedowns, just the usual early game, focus on farming, and maybe pick a fight once the dragon is up.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about, obviously, when you have a bot lane Ezreal, you don't really want to fight until Ezreal's found that first back. And so obviously they're going to be a little bit quiet until Ezreal gets the chance to back and pick up his first item, or at least just even the Sheen, as that gives him a bit more trading power, a bit more, I guess, aggression in some of these matchups. You can see here, this is what you're expected to do in this matchup, by the way, between Fiora and Camille. Just dive in, using that Grasp of the Undying to get constant procs with your lunge. You can see that Andre has come. And the reason Andre is here is to try and unfreeze the wave, but they're going in.
That is going to be Doom on the front line. That is the stuns connecting, and you have the Hex Ultimate being popped in there. Doom jumping in, but was not able to reach Andre. Now, right after that hook shot, Team Queso will just be able to disengage, get away. But Doom, he wants more blood. Will he cancel the recall? No, he will not. Instead, he has his eyes fixed on Andre. First blood going over to No Team, No Talent, and that is going to be Doom. Will you be able to survive? That is going to be a no. Rakan using the charm just to secure that kill.
Yeah, but they're going to go for a dive here on Ibu, and I think Friend will pick him off with the True Shot Barrage. And that is an easy punish on a roam from the support there. So a net positive for NTNT. I have questions. Why Andre decided to stay around? I guess he was potentially trying to guard against that tower dive against Acolyte, but he just ended up giving up his life to allow Acolyte to back. But I think they could have easily both backed off quickly there. Doom was kind of slow to commit to that kind of play. But that is a nice little lead here for Doom. You can see 300 gold or so going in his favor, and a load of gold in favor of the Ezreal on the bot side of the map here. We'll take a look back at this. You can see at level 5, Riven just incredibly strong as a duelist, especially when you're grouped up. You really nullify the power of Kha'Zix. And in a 2v2 in this matchup, there isn't really much that Kha'Zix is going to do that Riven cannot do better. And Doom here just able to get onto Andre, who's already burnt those resources to escape. Doom knows he's dead, by the way. I don't think he wants to give the kill to the Ahri, who ends up roaming up, which is why he walks back into tower. Very sensible decision, if you ask me. And now Leon going toe-to-toe.
Leon will try to go up against, of course, Acolyte, but up against Andre, but that is not going to come through. Also, that is going to be the Tusha Barrage connecting onto 3, and the Explosive Cast connecting onto 2, and the kill going over to Gragas. Here comes the other members of Team Queso. Blue Team will be able to get the Mountain Dragon. Now you have the Gatling being used by Stitch. He does use Valkyrie, focused onto Lucian. Lucian gets bursted down. Now you have Ezreal deciding to join the party. Rakan saying goodbye as well, and that is going to be the Rift Herald and Mountain Drake going over to No Team, No Talent. Need I tell you, while you were doing the analysis in the Baron Lane skirmish, Snitch actually got taken down by Ahri. So it was a quick revenge kill in the Rift Herald pit.
Yeah, and honestly, really good package from Snitch as well. Not only did it make it very difficult, let's take a look back at it again once more. This is Leon just doing Leon things, taking 1v1s where he may not actually necessarily have the edge. It does end up going down. As you said, though, great True Shot Barrage, explosive class combo. Like Andre was definitely flirting with death right here at such low HP. And that was a good trade back by Clue. But you really want to keep your eyes on Snitch's package positioning here. Loads of damage onto Ibu. Ibu moves into a choke point. Snitch sees his opportunity, takes him down, and Memorized, who was trying to support his AD carry, had nowhere to go but sitting on top of that package, and unfortunately just meant that he was going to go down too. So just a good package positioning there to split that team up from Snitch, and that gets him a couple of kills, as you said, just before he went down to Ruiz.
Mystic Shot really hurting a lot. That is going to be a jump and flash in body slam. And now you have Friend being able to finish off the kill. Ruiz no longer had the Spirit Rush. He does have flash, but was not able to react in time up against 2. That is going to be the kill going over to Ezreal. And maybe they could even get the tower.
Definitely have no one there to support or protect this tower right now. Ruiz is already back on the map and is making his way down. As you said, that Spirit Rush not available, though. We are going to see Memorized and Ibu slowly walk down, but I think you're right. This could be first tower of the game, dropping in favor of NTNT. Doom now with that ultimate engaged.
He just went right through Andre. Now you have the Hex Victim being popped. The SBPR saying goodbye, but SB Andre jumping in, flashing in Doom. Will he be able to get away? Yes, no, maybe. Kazik still can jump, but looks like he is just gonna focus on trying to push Doom away. Overall, it was a 1-to-1 trade. The Baron laners just taking themselves down.
Yeah, Leon didn't have the riposte for that Hextech Ultimatum, and obviously Hextech Ultimatum is a great way of just buying some invincibility frames for Acolyte, which then allows him to kind of negate any damage and keep himself alive for just that moment longer, allowing the tower to do the work. We can take a look here. Leon, you can just see how powerful Fiora is in this matchup in the 1v1, and how low Acolyte is here. Doom maybe could have got away with it with the Wind Slash, but watch this. Leon tanking the tower, doesn't have that riposte available, and Hextech Ultimatum buys enough time for Acolyte to negate enough damage. Doom keeps his cool. I really like this here. Uses 2 charges of his first ability, then dives over the wall on his last one. Just keeping that slight cool head to know that he hasn't got that the ability to get away. Oh my word, friend, almost dying out here.
That was so close. At the very least, Ezreal was able to pop the barrier at the perfect time. Now Andre being able to give that is gonna be the protocol coming through. Charms, Orb, but they don't care. That is still gonna be the kill going over to No Team, No Talent. They could hunt for more. Snitch is there at the sides, but no, they will not try to press their luck. They are just gonna rotate over to the mid lane.
We have some objectives spawning relatively soon. Most of them are gone in favor of No Team, No Talent right now. Doom still holding onto that Rift Herald, but this may be the opportunity that he looks to drop it. They're going to get at least a little bit of damage down into this mid lane tier 1. Doom backing off, though, maybe makes me feel that will be a Rift Herald drop to secure some natural priority for that second dragon. We talk about this a lot. It's just about creating some natural pressure in the lane that kind of draws Team Queso away from that dragon pit, and especially as that package is now up for Snitch, the special delivery, I don't really think Team Queso are going to want to lose their lives over a Wind Dragon.
Snitch and Clue actually the 2 champion unit that was lurking towards the dragon lane. Now that is going to be the Rift Herald being summoned at the mid lane. Spirit Rush is not yet available for Ruiz. At the very least, they have the quickness from Makan if ever No Team, No Talent decides to do something funny. Rift Herald, of course, will focus on the mid lane turret. Now you have Snitch, you also have Doom just focusing on the dragon that's up. Trisha Barrage will connect on to none. That is going to be Andre being able to jump away. Will he be able to juggle the 2v1? Actually make that a 2v2 now. You have the tactical sweep coming through. This is Clue at the front line. The ultimate being used. That is going to be your Khan jumping in, flashing in, being able to take Leon down. Now you have Clue, the only one left alive. Will he get a kill? Yes, no, maybe. The other perceive is going to come through. But looking here at the mid lane, the charm will not connect. The calling has been popped. Now you have No Team, No Talent still holding their ground. They decide to disengage and maybe rotate over to the Baron lane or just get the scutter.
They are going to be rotating, though. It does look like Friend is hovering to look for a kill.
Oh! And that will not stop anytime soon. That's going to be a 3v2. That is Rakan trying to use the Grand Entrance to make a way. But no, True Shot Barrage, the global ultimate will take him down.
That was a beautiful little Mystic shot on the fadeaway there to Acolyte. Honestly, Friend, he's been kind of putting NTNT on his back. I wouldn't say that the rest of the team has been having a bad game, but honestly, Friend's been having a great game. Leon actually 0-3-2. We hyped him up a lot. He actually hasn't got an insane score, but what he is doing is he's drawing a lot of pressure. I mean, Leon naturally draws pressure by the very sake of being Leon, though. It looks like both Snitch and Doom will be able to escape here. Snitch on very low mana, knows that he can't really take this fight right now. And that'll be NT resetting with a 6,000 gold lead in their favor. They're in a relatively good spot.
They are. And Baron is up now. Team K, so they could just group together. Hook shot, yes, will connect. But again, the Trisha Barrage hurting a lot. Now you have the vital points being Frog, and Camille just gets annihilated in the Dragon lane. Here comes Ari. Jump in, dashing, beautiful flash onto the side. Friend being able to get a kill. The calling has been used. Will it be enough? Now you have this champion trying to get away. That is to be a double kill going over to Ezreal. Lucian say goodbye. Double kill going over to Lucian as well. Now will this 1v1 happen? That is going to be a no. Andre decides to back away, a shot down on Ezreal, and while there was a lot of skirmish in the Dragon lane, Snitch and Doom focusing onto the Baron.
They are going all in on this Baron, but Andre knows what's going on. He's looking for a potential steal. Clue trying to buy some time here.
That is going to be the body slam connecting onto one, and Killing Spree going over to Snitch. Really quick take for No Team, No Talent. Missiles are being drawn out, and it is going to be the Baron going over to No Team, No Talent. Ruiz a tad bit too late to the party, so they will just disengage.
Absolutely insane. Like 2v4 in the bot lane, by the way, from Friend and Leon. They killed 4 people and only 2 from NTNT died. Leon got a huge injection of gold from that, and we are 6-1 and 5. Let's take a look back at that little replay here. Again, Acolyte caught out, or Leon blocks the second part of the hook shot there to prevent the escape, gets the proc on the ultimate to buy him some much needed health and regeneration, and just look at Friend's damage. Leon as well, able to block that charm. Blocking the charm from the Rakan with the riposte, gets another setup on the kill, and of course, Friend isolating himself here will end up going down, but it is a double kill for Leon and a double kill for Friend. And in the meantime, as we know, that did allow for this Baron to go down for NTNT, so a huge amount of pressure in the side lane immediately capitalized on in the cross map.
Oh, okay. While you were talking, as Lucian being taken down, now you have, of course, the next target going over to Team Queso. But here comes Niche with the Valkyrie. Leon saying goodbye. Rampage going over to this Corki. They see the charms coming through, but he is still being jumped in. Rakan saying goodbye, but looking at the base of Team Queso. Goodness me. Doom was right there. Prado belt in, but it's not going to be enough to reach this Riven.
No, and they've hit. Oh, yep. They're going to take down that top lane inhibitor tower with ease right now. And obviously, Doom still pushing in with that Baron minion wave. Baron minions at this stage in the game, Yuko, they can get you so much because you don't have the item spikes to be able to clear effectively, because you can't be taking those fights versus NTNT right now. They are just getting free towers in every lane. And I just feel for Queso, I don't think they can defend this.
I really think they can too. But looking into, again, that very small fight at the Baron lane side.
Yeah, you can see that was just Leon looking for one of those crazy 1v2 plays that he always goes for. I like to say that Leon is the ultimate backing himself player. Will always back himself to get a kill in one of these kind of massive outplay scenarios. And you can see also a perfect example of why you pick Gragas as a support into Rakan. When Rakan using that ultimate, he just unfortunately gets bopped by the belly and can't really make anything happen. That's going to be a free Infernal. Nothing that Queso can do about it as NTNT start to push in that bot lane. Couple of little taps from Friend, and you'll see that bot lane inhibitor tower dropping.
20 and 8 on the scoreboard. Now you have no team, no talent storming into Team Queso's base. As this Snitch throwing out a missile in that previous fight. Camille did use her Hextech ultimatum, but instead she still gets taken down by Kloop. That is with the calling being pop. Leon looking for his next possible target. There is a ward in the base of Team Queso. They only have one turret left. Lucian is going to focus onto this Fiora, but she's very, very slippery. The AC Mitch Barrage connecting onto one. Barely made it out of there alive. The AC Gags to the front line. Team Queso, are they trying to delay the inevitable? But now no team, no talent. Still trying to go all in. Stuns coming through. Connecting. Rampage onto Gragas. It is going to be the Gatling being popped by Corki, but still on the front line. Doom being able to stun 2-3 champions. And they're saying goodbye. And now Team Queso, they actually are down on 3 champions, whereas no team, no talent. All of 5 of them are focused on the next. So the ultimate will not be enough. Yet the cast being thrown out. They want to end the game. Rampage going over to Doom, and that is going to be game 1 going over to NT.
Brilliant stuff from No Team, No Talent. I think they made it look easy. I think one of the biggest weaknesses that Queso have got is that they are very predictable. If I can predict what they're going to draft, you bet that No Team, No Talent know exactly what's coming their way in that draft phase. And I think, obviously, they had a clear plan on how to deal with it. Leon just able to find the edge in the side lane. Doom kind of shadowing Andre, tracking him in the jungle, and the rest of the team Friend having an excellent game this time round as well. I think they just had the right answers to what Team Queso are bringing to the table. And that now throws up the question, is the second game going to feature the same? Are Queso going to have to shift it up and try to go out of that comfort zone to take No Team and No Talent on?
I feel like they should, because as you can see in game number 1, No Team, No Talent, they had this perfect plan. They turtled it out and eventually was able to get that victory. But for now, Mixrandle, I believe you have a clip for us.
Yeah, I think it was the most interesting clip from the game, and it is going to be that that bot lane 2v4 that allowed Doom to go for the Baron. You can see Doom is positioned on the minimap near the Baron here, so he's obviously on this side of the map. The rest of Team Queso will be collapsing this way on the map. They'll basically commit everything to this fight. Now, a couple of key things to look out for. Watch what Leon does in just a moment. Gets right in front of Acolyte, stops that second part of the hook shot, which makes it much easier for Leon to then proc his ultimate and go for the kill. Easy, doesn't even need to get all 4 vitals, and he gets a huge amount of healing up here again. You can see Friend just picking up, like that's one Mystic Shot, Essence Flux combo, and Ruiz just lost half his HP in a second. So he's already basically dead. Beautiful little shift from Friend over the wall. And here's another really important part of the fight. Watch Leon's riposte here. Riposte straight into memorized Charm. So Charm has come through from Memorize, but he's going to go straight into the riposte, which stuns Memorize up, as you can see, takes him down easily, and then Ibu makes himself a target for Friend to go in. And yes, okay, we see Andre get the kill at the end of the day, but the most important part is what's going on over here. Both Snitch and Doom are currently taking the Baron, and that is essentially a really nice piece of micro play where there were lots of little individual outplays that went in the favor of NTNT, but also, you know, that macro element to it as well. That's the classic. That is what split pushing is supposed to achieve. You split push, you draw attention to you, your team does something else. But NTNT took it to the extreme where they had 2 members of their team doing the Baron and 3 members of their team doing the split pushing. But at the end of the day, that was a nice example of what you expect to see from a classic split push strategy.
To think that that was a 2v3, even though the both of them died, I think it was a little win for NTNT. And on top of that, again, that was the Baron being secured, even though Ruiz and even Andre tried to take a peek into the Baron to maybe try and go with the steal. It definitely was not enough. But yeah, win conditions being checked by No Team, No Talent. Really curious to see what is going to happen in game number 2. But I do think Team Queso, maybe they could or they should just try something new, because we do not want another. No Team, No Talent was able to read through their draft, and that Fiora play was very much on point. And Ezreal being very slippery, I think that is going to be a problem. The fact that he was barely touched in that game speaks volumes.
I think if you're playing Kha'Zix and Ahri, then yeah, it's you're asking for a good Ezreal pick.
That is true. But yeah, now we are just waiting for the players. To all of the fans out there, do not worry. We are ready for game number 2. First game going over to No Team, No Talent. But do not fret, Team Queso, I'm sure they have something up their sleeves. What is it though? I have no idea, but that is what game 2 is all about. You'll still be your casters. I'm Yuko, and alongside me is Xscoundrel. Still, there won't be any switch, but what do you think should Team Queso do?
I don't know. That's you don't ban Riven jungle, right? I wouldn't say that Riven is a particularly strong pick. I think for Team Queso, you need to ask yourself the question whether you think that you can get wins versus a team like NTNT with your comfort. And if you have to honestly ask yourself the question, maybe you test it out for a second game and just see how it goes. I don't think, you have more, you can, reverse sweeps can happen. You have that leeway in a best of 5. I think you could just go for that comfort again. It worked versus Game Lord. But if you lose again here, that's where you probably need to think about shifting things up. Let's see what happens though, obviously, when we get to pick and ban.
And speaking of pick and ban, it is already on the go. Let's hop into it. All right, so Riven does not deserve a ban. Let's see what champion will Team Queso ban out. I mean, they could ban out Fiora or take it for themselves. Maybe we'll still be seeing a Kha'Zix pickup. Akali will be the first ban for Team Queso side. No Team, No Talent, still gonna focus on getting that Ziggs. They do not want any quick or fast games so far.
Yeah, of course we have the side switch here. So blue side does allow you to get a first pick that you think is particularly important. It was a Corki for No Team, No Talent last time, even though I think that the Corki was one of the picks that was more in the background of that game. It was a very safe and flexible pick. You did mention obviously can go to mid lane or dragon lane, so the flexibility of that pick was important. I love that they're banning away Ibu's Kai'Sa as well. That was something that he relied heavily on yesterday, and they are actually going to take the Fiora for Acolyte this time round. Fiora, classically known to have very few bad matchups in the Baron lane. She's one of those picks that has a universal good matchups across the board, realistically. Gragas is certainly one of those good matchups, so I'm interested to see where that might go to in NTNT. But with Doom's Xin Zhao open, that will get locked in.
Well, Gragas and Xin Zhao, now you have 2 disengagers for No Team, No Talent. Team Queso, if they try to build a full-on 5v5, they may struggle. Camille being picked up, and now Team Queso will also pick up the Ezreal. Let's see if we're going to be seeing a Rakan, or are we going to be seeing something more different? Maybe a Seraphine, Braum, the usual. But No Team, No Talent picking up this Sona and Seraphine.
Yes, it's something that worked really well for them on the first day that we were casting, and it is I think they locked it in because they saw the Ezreal. They know that Ezreal does not have a lot of lane pressure before his first back, so Ezreal usually starts off with a mana crystal, which makes him one of the weaker early game trading AD carries, and they are saying, fine, if we can get to level 5 without being threatened in lane, we're playing Sona Seraphine 100%. And it'll be Leon's Lee Sin locked in. I actually think Lee Sin is the best possible matchup into Fiora. And it's only because Leon is one of the very few Baron laners in Europe that plays this effectively. So I think it's one of those pocket picks that he has into that Fiora matchup that works well.
Will we see a Lee Sin popping off in the early game, or will we see Ezreal surviving despite being up against Sona and Seraphine? All of these questions will be answered as we jump into game number 2.
I think Sona Seraphine, to answer your question, is just too strong, realistically, for the most part. It is a ridiculous bot lane duo combo that honestly scales up incredibly well. And provides so much teamfight presence as well with the rest of this comp. You can see potential late invade here from Doom and Leon, but they aren't going to push much further onto Acolyte. They're going to peel back and go for their own red.
Some pokes here and there, but at the very least, Acolyte was able to spot them out quickly. You have the vital points being seen as well. That is going to be Ruiz and Snitch. Snitch will have his hands on this Gragas. Just a few pops here and there with the barrel, but looking into the Dragon Lane. Again, we talked about this. So much poke, so much power from the Sona and Sarah duo. Ezreal will definitely have a difficult time. What he needs to do, though, is do his best to just survive the laning phase, the early game, and maybe even the first half of the mid game.
I think you just want to, like you said, you just want to get through this early game as Sona Seraphine. I think with the Nami, that is something that you do need to be a little concerned about. As long as you're dodging out those bubbles, like Nami can be quite an aggressive trading support in the bot lane and can kind of help facilitate some of Ezreal's early game weaknesses, especially if you're empowering those Mystic shots. They can hurt quite a lot. But you can just see the sustain in this lane is pretty nutty, and Friend and Clue happily just absorbing that pressure.
It is, and well, to think that they have a lot of heals and movement speed boost, they will have the time of their life. But you know what? Leon is also having the time of his life. He will be able to pressure Acolyte and just push him back into the turret range, but that is going to be the riposte coming through. Leon will still be very much okay. That is going to jump into the mid lane, though. Let's see what is going to happen. He's being boxed in, jump out, but as the Snitch jumping in, you also the first one being secured by the blue side. Shinjo saying goodbye. Now Snitch is the next one. Will Andre be able to get the kill? That is going to be a no. Leon does jump in, immediately targets Acolyte. That is going to be Clue at the front line. Sona with the heals and the, of course, sustain and extra damage right there, but that is going to be Nami saying hi and hello with the ebb and flow. The bubble will not connect, and now both teams will just disengage.
That was very risky for Clue to jump in there, but had that heal available just to keep Leon in that fight. It was moments or minutes away from just dropping down Leon there against Acolyte. You don't really want to give Fiora an edge in this matchup. It is a very volatile matchup, the Lee Sin Fiora match. But I like this again. This is classic Tribe. Whenever they find an opportunity, just trying to punish in the 2v1. And they managed to get Ibu down very low. But yeah, I think you have to be very concerned if you're Leon and Clue, because Leon in the top lane, because if you give that Fiora anything in this matchup, it can very easily go the wrong way.
Snitch being locked in that Hextech ultimatum, but looks like they really want to focus on this Gragas, but he is still alive. However, the Diana will be able to get him down. That is going to be the move coming through, and 2 kills going over to Team K. So looking here at the other part, on the other side of the map though, Bubble still not connecting. Ibu will be able to use that Trucial Barrage, and Clue will just cancel his recall. Now that's going to be Friend trying to focus on to memorize. Beat Drop is going to connect. Heals for days yet again. Looks like no team, no talent. The Dragon Lane duo will hold out just fine, even though slowly scaling with this Ezreal.
Yeah, but also I think you scale better as Sona Seraphine. I think Sona Seraphine is one of the best scaling duos in the game. I like Snitch. It's one of the reasons you pick the Gragas into the Camille is to be able to disengage from that Hextech ultimatum. But unfortunately, Doom and Snitch losing out in this 2v2 time and time again, and those level 5s were there for both Andre and for Ruiz that allowed them to just get the slight edge in that 2v2. Right now, though, this is exactly what you want if you're Team Queso. You want want to be able to put the pressure on early. You don't want to let Sona Seraphine get away with this for free. And so you can see that any kind of early advantage that you can leverage in your favor will give Team Queso a bit of a lifeline when working towards the mid game, where they're going to hope to potentially strike against the team's NTNT before NTNT get too carried away and get towards that late game.
Took us for comfort in Ruiz there for the Dragon Link side, but he was able to survive that one. Now, Rip Herald as well as the Infernal Drake is now up. Both teams will try to go and get that Dragon. That is going to be the Onward connecting onto 1-9, but that is the Crescendo connecting onto 2. Team Queso, 2 ultimates already being burned down. That is the Suddenly connecting onto 3. You have the stuns coming through. Morpho connecting onto 2. That is the tactical being used as well. Shinjo saying goodbye. Beat Drop connecting onto 2. That is the Gragas lurking into the side. So far, it is a 1-0 in the favor of Team Queso. Here comes No Team, No Talent. Jump in, but looks like Leon will just disengage. That is going to be the upper person connecting. Stuns coming through. Kite still all over the map. Now you have Leon saying goodbye. You have the heals from Sona. Diana being bursted down. Now you have No Team, No Talent. They want to get their next target. B-Drop is not going to connect. Here comes the hook shot, but looks like that is going to be Andre deciding to disengage.
Yeah, but it's not a problem. They weren't after anything other than the Infernal Drake here. They did not want the kills. They just wanted to delay the backs as long as possible to get Doom back towards that Dragon Pit. It does mean that we'll end up trading Rift Herald for Infernal, but I think you take that as NTNT. You are happy to have the Infernal Drake. It gives you some scaling advantage again. Not that you really needed it, but even more than that, it delays the scaling of Team Queso, stops Team Queso being able to accelerate in this mid game. Leon has been a bit of a target here, and we've got 3 members from Team Queso grouping up, I think, looking for that first tower of the game.
That is the Leon jumping in. You also have Doom lurking to the sides. 2v3 who will be able to survive. That is going to be a hook shot away. Just Doom throwing out his spear, and looks like Team Queso will just back away. I think they actually saw Sona even. Triforce has been completed by Andre. Jumping back into the mid lane, you have Ibu and of course Snitch, just with their small highs and hellos.
You just take a look here. Unfortunately, Doom just not enough in position, or his team weren't around him. They were in a 5 versus 4, and I think for the most part, when those Sona and Seraphine ultimates are down, there is not much that you can do if you're NTNT. Leon was not there at the start of the fight, which just meant that the man disadvantage, it was enough to get sort of play, or force NTNT rather to play a more safe team fight. But again, they weren't really after the kills here. They really just wanted to delay those backs. They wanted to stop the backs happening so that Infernal Drake could be taken, and it was.
I think that was mission accomplished. Now you have the... Okay, I thought they were going to jump in, but let's see the Reach just throwing out his Crescent. Now you have the Tidal Wave available if ever they want to pick a fight here. Acolyte though, away from where Leon is, looking at the mid lane. You have Camille, you also have Xin Zhao just pushing the waves in. Recalls will come through for No Team, No Talent. Leon focusing onto the turret, and he will just fall back. He sensed Acolyte's presence.
Yeah, he kind of knew Acolyte was coming. It's a bit of a close affair for first turret of the game here on the top side of the map. Take a look here, Leon. I think did he find the kill? He found the kill in the 1v1. That is spicy stuff. Didn't get enough time on the tower to take it down, though. And I think it should be an easy tower take with the Camille and Fiora on the top side of the map. They do get it, but we haven't engaged from Doom.
Tactical sweep again. Now you have Leon jumping in. That is even the Hex ultimate being popped as well. You have Clue jumping in, flashing in. Camille saying goodbye. Now you have the time to be connecting onto 1. The grand challenge has been popped. You still have Friend at the back line. He does have Encore. Let's see if he is gonna commit. Now NTNT, they are looking for the kill. GA already available for Leon, so he has that leeway if ever he is at the front line. But looks like Memorize will just stay under turret unless he gets caught up by No Team, No Talent. Now a flash in to make sure he will not get taken down, which leaves the mid lane turret vulnerable. Except cast has been popped by Snitch just to push Ruiz back. The bubble is going to connect for members of No Team, No Talent jumping back.
They'll have the sustain to keep themselves going, though. Remember, with the Seraphine Sona, you're looking for one particular item spike on either. I think Staff of Flowing Water is the big item that you're looking for to ensure that these guys are kind of in that prime position to be buffing each other up, getting that cooldown reduction, or that ability haste rather, and just getting a huge amount of AP being gifted to each other's pockets as well. It's a really important item in this duo combo. Above that, you also have the likes of the Harmonic Echoes to ensure that you're getting ridiculous healing out from both the Seraphine and the Sona. So if we get a chance to have a look at the items, we'll just see where those item spikes are right now. Seraphine actually going for the more aggressive of the builds. The Staff of Flowing Water has been completed for the Sona, but we're actually seeing a Ludens early from Seraphine here. So more damage-orientated Seraphine. I imagine now heading towards the Staff of Flowing Water because that is such an important little duo item that you can pick up for both Clue and Friend. But you know, I think the Ludens makes sense. You are wanting to be a damage threat in these fights, and so the Ludens gives you that nice mid-game spike.
Of course, Snitch and Leon will be the damage dealers early into the game. That is going to be a jump in, but you have Acolyte being that repost. Apparently was able to survive. Now you have Snitch. Stuns are going to come through, and Acolyte will just hook shot his way away. Mr. Shot has been sent out. Now, no team, no talent. Will they try to get the pick up? Looks like that is going to be Indo. Instead, that is going to be Ruiz being targeted by teleports are going to come through. Snitch in the back line. He has the cast. Let's see what is going to happen. That's how you have the ultimate coming through from Ezreal. Has the ultimatum as well as the Anchor being used as well, but looks like no team knows how being able to annihilate few members here and there. Diana, the first one down, actually gets taken down. Xin Zhao saying goodbye as well. Now you have Sona saying goodbye. SBF 1v3 rather. Snitch trying to get away. The Baron has been casted. Leon at the back lines. He can actually get one here. He does use Chrono Belt to jump in. Now Ebu being able to take Snitch down. Will Leon get the revenge? Because that is going to be a yes. Killing spree going over to Leon. Still has GA. Now you have Friend at the front line. Vitals has been popped, but Team Queso deciding to just disengage.
Unfortunately, it was the positioning of the fight there that went in favor of Team Queso. NTNT were not in that correct setup. You really want the Seraphine Sona stacked on top of each other. Leon feels pretty hyphy with that GA to get into the fight, though, and you have the rest of NTNT making their way over.
No crescendo. Blue team will be able to get Ocean Drake. That is going to be Doom jumping in. Memorize forced to flash away. Tidal Wave has been popped as well. Clue jumps in, flashes in. Will they be able to get the kill? That is going to be a no. Tusha Barrage has been sent out as well. But Leon and Friend will be a-okay. No team, no talent. Looks like they could have their eyes on this Baron, right? Maybe they could just pick a fight first. Rip Herald is still pretty much up into the Baron lane, making its way rather into the second outer turret for no team, no talent.
Yeah, that's been there a while. He's just been chilling, hitting those minion waves. That was popped probably about a minute before that Dragon fight even kicked off. I think you have to be very careful when you're NTNT with this comp. When you have Sona Seraphine, you need them to be like this pretty much at all time. Like Seraphine Sona needs to be attached at the waist with some kind of like rubber band to ensure that they are constantly stacking those shields and heals on top of each other and the rest of the team. If you're playing a split fight, and a split fight is what you're after, it's why Gragas is so good into this comp, you kind of limiting the power levels of this particular composition. So you just have to be a little careful about how you choose to set up fights with a Sona Seraphine comp. And that's probably where Team Coastal are going to be looking to exploit. They've got a very heavy engaged comp, and they can look to catch people out of position. So if they ever see a point where NTNT are out of position, or the Sona or the Seraphine are isolated, they will look to pounce and make that fight happen as quickly as possible.
Ebu alone into the mid lane, I think that does not sound good. The very least Memorize alongside Ruiz is now where he is. That is to be Gragas jumping back into the base. Baron is still pretty much alive, but no team is actually jumping in the Baron's pit just yet. Fiend and of course Clue will be together. That is going to be the beach up connecting onto one, as well as the high notes connecting onto Ruiz, but Ebu rather will still be very much healthy. That is going to be a jump in, flash in, encore connecting onto three, as well as the beach up. That is going to be now being bursted down. Now you have no team, no talent jumping in. The Trisha Barrage hurting a lot. Now you have Doom Rampage going over to Leon. That is going to be the ADC, and the support already down. They were pretty happy to get those 2 kills. Now they want to get the purple word.
And they have a really insane comp for this as well. With the Sona Seraphine, you negate a lot of that. We have the engage coming through though.
Snitch with that body slam connecting onto the Grand Challenge has been popped, but will it be enough? That is going to be the kill going over to Fiora, but Leon still pretty much alive. Seraphine say goodbye. Camille being taken down by the Seraphine as well. That is going to be Doom jumping in, being there with the probes, with the spears, but that is going to be, goodness me, Acolyte trying to get away. Now you have Clue. He doesn't have Crescendo. He does have Flash though. Doom focusing onto Acolyte. The repost being used. Now you have the Mr. Shock right there. Leon jumping in. Will he get the kill? That is going to be a no. Now they're going to stay under turret. Mystic Shot is not going to connect, and looks like that is going to be an overall win for the side of no team, no talent. Leon still not jumping back, but now Team Queso will be able to get the first outer mid lane turret.
Yeah, they're going to take that down with ease. And the only problem that I think NTNT really had there was that Clue was out of mana. He had absolutely no mana in that Baron fight. Used a lot of it to sustain them up as they head towards the Baron. And massive credit to Team Queso. They peeled back so well. Let's take a look back at that fight here. It was an awkward engage from Snitch, but the follow-up was so nice. You said, like, chain CC on top of chain CC. They took out 2 members very quickly here. It was a really lovely kick from Leon to isolate out Ibu, and it was a bot lane advantage overall. Problem was, if you look, Clue has 0 mana here. He's doing absolutely nothing in this fight. He cast 1 ability all fight because of how little mana that he actually had. And in the meantime, because the Camille was able to take out the Seraphine and split this fight up, unfortunately, the rest of that front line just not strong enough to effectively duel against a Fiora. Fiora shines in these smaller engages, and that's where Team Queso had the edge, and NTNT had to back off.
Leon is looking to decide that it's going to be the tactical sweep, but that is going to be Andre forced to use whole shot to jump away. Tidal Wave and the Trisha Barrage already being used. Now, that is the engage coming in from Snitch. That is the body slam coming onto one. Beautiful engage though from the side of No Team, No Talent. Diana saying goodbye even though he jumped in. That is going to be Doom on the front line. Nami B becoming Sushi now. No Team, No Talent. Snitch being able to get a double kill. Fiora saying goodbye. That Ezreal tried to get away, but now we have an unstoppable leader. At the very least, Acolyte was able to press him down. But at what cost? At the cost of his very own life. Now, No Team, No Talent being able to get those 5 kills in at the expense of Leon. They could finish off the game.
I think they're going to straight up finish off the game here. Way too many death timers to work with for Team Queso. And I think that's one of the problems. This composition from Team NTNT is a ticking time bomb. If you do not beat it, it will beat you. And that is the core essence of the NTNT roster. And I think, as we said, Seraphine Sona, once they hit certain item specs, the sustain is almost impossible to deal with. It doesn't matter how many Executioner's Callings you buy. It doesn't matter how many Morellonomicons. There is too much shielding, too much healing to deal with. And I think, unfortunately, if you let them have a draft that works for them with the Seraphine Sona, it is just essentially a game of, can we get far enough ahead before they just become impossible to beat? And unfortunately, that was not the case here for Team Queso, despite having a really strong early game.
That's true. Also, can I just say that Clue, even though he has the heals, he also picked up heal as a summoner spell. So the sustain and the healing is definitely obnoxious for No Team, No Talent. But now let's take a look at the highlights for that game.
Yeah, there was some really good early moments from Team Queso, actually winning out in the little 2v2 here. Obviously, Snitch was able to pick off one back, but right now it was Doom who had an uncharacteristically hard early game. Team Queso put a lot of pressure on Doom, who went for a lot of ganks with Snitch. Leon as well getting caught out a little bit, although I would say Leon had an absolutely fantastic game on his Lee Sin. Like I said, he's one of the few Baron laners that can actually play this in Europe, and it really shows how flexible and what that kind of gives to the team. This is another situation. Watch, this is a split fight here. They were able to take out the backline with relative ease. They managed to keep 2 members isolated in the back. Unfortunately, Seraphine Sona at this stage not able to deal with a Camille by themselves. In fact, realistically, Seraphine Sona not really supposed to be left in those situations. You kind of have to play around the shielding and the healing. And this is that good early game that we saw from Team Queso. Leon, though, was the shining light. Anytime that there was a rough situation for NTNT, Leon was able to draw something back for the team here, picking off the Ezreal whilst maintaining his GA. Really nice little element. Another good option where, you know, the Seraphine Sona is split off from the fight, and look at the front line. They can't deal the same kind of impact in the team fight when not having that Seraphine Sona to back them up. And that is something that if you're ever playing into a Seraphine Sona, you have to consider of a way to deal with them. It is just that ability to separate Sona and Seraphine away from the rest of the team, because the shielding, the sustain, and the heals is what makes this composition OP. And if you can break that away from the main body of the team, that's where it's going to be in your advantage. And right now, this was that last team fight. This is where you really started to see the power of Seraphine Sona just slowly making their way forward, slowly advancing forward. And then watch this, Sona and Seraphine on the back line, chaining CC together. Low HP bars, but it won't be for long, because Sona should be able to get them back up and healed. As you can see here, Seraphine as well gets a huge amount of healing off with that empowered second ability. And this is allowing them to get themselves healthy again and to be able to end the game.
Can I just say that even though Doom was in the front line in that last clash, he was okay. I mean, he got a lot of ultimates, but he was still able to make it out of there alive. Looks like this is going to be 2-0 so far for No Team, No Talent. Also, can I just say that you mentioned about separating Sona and Seraphine. Made me think though, what if there was a core key for the side of Team Queso? The Valkyrie could have separated these two champions, but then again, they're in the back line. Still a lot of things to take into consideration. But of course, without further ado, picking Pick and Bans is ready for game number 3, so let's scooch over there. Will this team have the talent to actually end the series in 3-0, or will Team Queso be able to cheese their way into a game number 4? Let's wait and see though. I mean, a lot of things still available. I'm looking forward to seeing the adjustments for Team Queso. No team, no talent. They're looking very, very strong. So what are your thoughts about this before we jump into game number 3?
They tried comfort, they tried non-comfort, and neither of them have worked. So at this point, you just pick your best and hope for the best. Realistically, I think unfortunately, no team, no talent might just be a little too strong. They are just that cut above the rest of the European teams right now, and you're kind of seeing it over the course of the last couple of Origin series. This team has looked like head and shoulders above the rest of the Group A competition, if you ask me. But, nonetheless, Team Queso definitely can give it a good swing. But I think pick and bans are really important here. We'll see if they revert back to comfort or not.
All right, so are they still going to be banning out Akali rather, and who will be in the hands of Ruiz? The Ahri pick was very, very good. However, the Diana, even though it does spell well into the draft, for me at least, the Moonfrost just did not have that much impact. Ziggs still going to be banned out for the side of no team, no talent. Apparently, we will not be seeing an Akali, so sad Yuko noises. Senna still going to be banned out for Team Queso.
Yeah, these are very, just as I said, very common bans, and I think the bans have stayed relatively similar. It's interesting that Team Queso bans Akali, because usually NTNT do, because Leon has come out on record saying he just doesn't like playing against Akali. So it's one of those things that NTNT usually ends up banning. Again, banning the Kai'Sa away from Ibu, I think, really limits one of those late game power picks for Team Queso. Let's see what Queso choose to go. It is going to be that Camille. So again, just comfort once more for Acolyte, giving him something that he feels comfortable on in that matchup.
All right, so that is going to be the Gragas, most likely going over to Snitch, maybe even to the Brown lane. Corki now being picked up by no team, no talent, most likely is going to go over to Snitch. Looking back into game number 1. Team Queso, I was about to say they could get Xin Zhao, but looks like they want to get their hands on this Stacy. And Ezreal is open for grabs as well if they want to secure an ADC, but it looks like they're going to get this Garen. It's going to be a jungle. No. Who will go where? The mind games of Team Queso, though.
Could be a mid lane Camille. We have seen this before, and I think Ezreal is the sensible choice once more. When you know that you're dealing with a lot of a need to kite away, then Ezreal is one of those few AD carries that has a lot of self peel built into his kit. It's going to be Lucian.
Expound those face, though.
Support Garen.
Yes,
support Lee.
Yes.
I don't know. I
think it's gonna be Garen.
Yeah, but support Garen is so bad. Like, it's not even remotely good.
I know, lots of questions in our heads right now, but that just excites me all the more. So the confused casters will, alongside the confused audience, will jump into game number 3.
It's support Garen.
Right. See, I mean, the only ever viable champion in Team Queso's draft is a support Garen. I will not be expecting a support Camille or support Lee Sin, because that's kind of sad. I mean, Lee Sin has an obnoxious amount of early game power.
At least you could just kick. Like, at least the support Lee Sin, you can just be a kick bot, right? You're just there to isolate someone. But like, what does support Garen offer other than just being a really bad tank? And then
Silence?
But like, you have to run at them to even make that happen. And then your ultimate got nerfed. It's not even like your ultimate is like good enough by itself now. I don't know what support Garen's about.
Hey, I actually like this pick, so I'm actually looking forward to how Team Queso will play this one out. But expounding further into the Dragon Lane matchup, of course, Ezreal will be very much safe behind Clue on this Braum. Winter Spite, as well as the passive, the concussive blows, will be a huge problem for Team Queso if the stuns is going to come through. Acolyte will still have his hands on this Camille. Now Leon will have this Gragas, so if ever there's a Hexic Ultimatum, he can just pop in with Explosive Cast.
Yeah, I think right now this is a very comfortable matchup for both. I would say the Gragas. I personally feel like the Gragas Camille matchup is like skill. It's a skill matchup between the two of them. It's not like, you know, the Fiora Gragas or Fiora Camille matchup, but it's really just like Fiora is very hard to lose that matchup with. But this one's more of a skill matchup for me. You can stun Camille out of her hook shot. You can use your Gragas ultimate to knock her out of Hextech Ultimatum. So it really just depends on how and when you use your skill. It's more of a, like I said, more of a skill matchup between the two of them. But we'll see. Looks like there's going to be an early gank from Andre on the top side of the map here.
Leon being boxed in, he is under turret. Will he get first blood? That is going to be a no, because Camille was the one that got first blood. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Gragas was able to get there eventually. Even the people controlling the stream just zoomed in to just emphasize what happened.
Oh, okay. Team Queso are trolling now. It's just like, what was that? What did I just watch? It's a Yuko, it's a terrible day to have eyes. I can tell you that. It's a terrible day to have eyes.
That is true. But you know what? We're already in it this far. Best of 5, 2-0. I'm just gonna fully commit. I'm gonna go all in. But now looking back into the Dragon Lane, Friend will be on this Ezreal, and still Clue is just at that beefy front line. Doom though is lurking again to the side that is beat Unbreakable, being popped by Clue. Memorize trying to shield Ibu with all his might. Judgment has been used to clear the wave out. But the moment Doom jumps in, or maybe the moment a new wave of minions jumps in, could spell bad for them. Ibu will just cancel the recall, but Friend is pretty much a-okay with that. Now here comes Doom, jump in, focus on the Ibu. That is going to be the glitchy fish connecting onto one, and Garen gets annihilated. Just the Broad is going to connect into one, jump in, Arc and Shift, Mystic Shot. That is going to be 2 kills going over to No Team, No Talent.
And they are really off to a good start here. This is a great acceleration in Game 3. No Team, No Talent looking to stamp their authority down on the Origin series. Let's take a look at it. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I understand why Andre made this gank. They obviously just misplayed it a little bit, right? You want to get Camille the edge in this matchup, because then Camille can probably just continue to pressure out in the side lane. So I definitely understand the thinking there for Team Queso, and I understand what they were trying to achieve. It just didn't really work out very well, obviously, as we saw. And like, obviously, Andre was trying to hold the aggro on the tower because he knew that Camille would die should she take it. Should she have taken a tower shot? But he just held it for a little bit too long. Sometimes it's difficult to predict those types of things. So, you know, I joked a little bit about a terrible day to have eyes. I joked a little bit about trolling, but it's difficult to make those kind of, you know, plays effectively and calculate it 100%.
That is true. At the very least, it was he just took one third hit too much. Now the Rift Herald and the first dragon of the game is already up 1-3 in the scoreboard. Now you have Team Queso focusing on their peril, but you know what? Doom just says hi. Here comes, of course, Jungler as well. That is to be the judgment pop. Tijo saying goodbye. Now Clue is the only one left at the referral, but here comes Fred. Here comes Snitch. Braum being bursted down. Beautiful Valkyrie principal package being used by Snitch there. Also, the missile is still gonna reach Ari, and Snitch at the perfect position possible, being able to get that double kill. That is to be the Lee Sin being bursted down as well, and it was a 3-0 in favor of No Team, No Talent.
Yeah, and they should be able to get a lot of damage down into this mid lane tier 1 as well. That's a nice few plates that will go in the back pocket of Leon and Snitch here. They won't be able to take the tower outright, but they've set it up so that, you know, a simple push should allow them to pick up that tier 1 and open up the map a little more here for NTNT. They're now going to set up for that dragon. We haven't engaged.
Here comes Reese, but that will not connect. This is connecting onto 2. Now you have their push back onto Acolyte. Acolyte being saying goodbye. Charm is gonna connect, but Blue Team being able to get the Ocean Dragon. But the fight is right there. Kalixmi going over to Ezreal, jump in, Art and Shift in, as well as the Mystic Shock being able to take Lucian down. Rampage for Friend, and that is gonna be that turret falling down in favor of NT.
And that now opens the map up massively. They even picked up the dragon as well. NTNT, it will be, I'm going to be honest with you, Yuko, it will be a difficult position to lose from here on out. I think realistically they are in the driving seat in this game. Andre desperately trying to hold on to this bot lane tier 1, knows that he can't commit versus the Braum, though, as the Ezreal just too strong at this point in time. Doom, though, might walk straight into Ruiz here.
That is going to be a flash out, though. Charm is going to connect onto Braum, but you have the Unbreakable coming through. Braum saying goodbye. Here comes the engage from Team K, so Shinja being bursted down as well. Friend, the only one left there. Trisha Barrage being used. Acolyte, goodness me, being taken down by Snitch yet again. And it was a 2-1 in favor of Team Queso, but they are still going at it. Charm is not going to connect. The orb is going to connect onto Gragas, but he does not care. He body slams his way in. Ezreal saying goodbye. Will he be able to tank the damage that is the No. Leon 1v3. Judgment being popped. Double kill going over to Lucian, to Ibu, but Snitch being able to get the Baron lane turret.
I mean, you'll take those kills. If you're Team Queso at this point, you need anything that you can get, especially when you're running with a Garen support that's taking Grasp of the Undying, by the way. So, you know, I think you'll take anything that you can get at this point if you're Team Queso, and try gifting some gold, some charitable gold back towards Queso in this game, because goodness knows Queso definitely need it. Take a look at the quick replay there. Again, I think Clue and Leon just a little overextended. I think very hyphy right now as NTNT are in a really strong spot, but Snitch is super strong, as you mentioned a few times here. Actually stolen. I didn't notice that in the midst of that fight. It was a steal here for Team Queso. So they get both the Dragon and a bit of gold gifted their way on the bottom side of the map, which they'll happily take.
Trisha Barrage to say hello to Team Queso, but Team Queso will just fall back. Andre very, very low. That is the jump in. Let's see if Snitch alongside Clue will do something. Charm is going to connect onto Corki, but no one actually committed justice. Let's see the Grace of Fisher. The green light from No Team, No Talent. Here comes Andre the back line, but Snitch is safe as well. The calling has been used. Ezreal still very healthy. Charm is going to connect, as well as the Orb of Deception, but no actual trades from Team Queso.
Still, Team Queso have very low HP bars for the time being, and they are a little overextended, at least in hovering on a flank. This 2-2 tower should drop. I don't think anyone's quite in position to punish them as of yet. But NTNT definitely pushing the boat out as Snitch has to Valkyrie away. Very close one there for Snitch, but he'll get away just fine. And the rest of NTNT will back off. We'll take a look back at that replay. You can see Ibu, Ruiz able to land a little charm. It's a really good block off here from Clue with that Unbreakable, just to give a lot of space over to the back line for NTNT to just jump in and get the work done. Having a little breakout here. Another fight opening up.
Ruiz, the first one to say goodbye. He did use his charm. He tried to pick a Snitch off, or maybe even Friend, but he was very much near wall and was not able to secure the kill. Instead, he was the one that got taken down here at the mid lane, though. Andre trying to go up against Leon, but Leon being very healthy, being very A-okay, will be able to survive the few pokes coming out from Andre. Now, you have 17 and 13 on the scoreboard. Triforce being completed by Friend. Snitch, again, sitting comfortably 4-0-4. Just give him a front line, which they have Braum, by the way, and he is going to be A-okay. On top of that, Friend is very much scaling. Just has Triforce, Ruiz right there. Now, I'm still waiting for Garen to do something. He could silence maybe Doom if he jumps in, maybe even Friend. I don't think you should target Clue, but now No Team, No Talent. Let's not go with the fights. Let's try and take Dragon. You know what? Why not both? That is the Charm connecting onto one. Now you have the Blastcom being popped. That is the Unbreakable still being sent out by Braum and Team Queso. They cannot go near No Team, No Talent just yet. Snitch threw out a missile. Will it be enough? It will not. Now Leon is at the backline. As we Doom jumping in, he does get pushed back. Now you have the Glacier Fisher being sent out. Jumps coming in. Snitch is now unstoppable. We also have the cast being thrown out. Double kill, make that a triple kill going over to Snitch. He is now godlike. Garen saying goodbye. 3-0 in favor of No Team, No Talent, just in time for the Baron to be up.
Yep, and they should be able to get this. They are low HP bars, but they'll take it very quickly with a double lady carry composition. Not sure that there's much that Ibu can do without the culling. Acolyte does have that Hextech ultimatum. There is maybe a way that he can kind of delay this Baron, but it gets taken too quickly. Like we said, a double lady carry composition does take this very, very quick. And Acolyte not even interested in engaging the fight right now. This could be the last stretch for No Team, No Talent to win the final monthly Origin Series before, as we can say it now, it has been announced, a LAN finals later in September.
Mark your calendars, but here we have a replay.
Yeah, we're going to see a little break there. There was just a really nice cask from Leon there. Yuko, I don't know what Garen support's trying to do. We've got another fight, though.
He's trying to support. Don't worry, I got this. A shutdown on Ezreal though, but could that be the only kill Team Case will be able to get in that skirmish? Looks like NT is just holding off just fine. Font of Life is going to be proc, but I don't think that is going to be enough. Still, no team, no talent holding their gardens. The mid lane that is Leon trying to juggle that 2v1. He received a lot of damage. He is being boxed in, and that is going to be a bye-bye for Gragas. Blue team being able to get, rather, one turret being taken down for the side of Team Queso. Dragon is up, but red team, no talent. They want to get the turrets down. They want to play the objective game.
Yeah, and they have that Mountain Dragon ready to go. Only one tower taken for Team Queso. It actually looks like Friend is going to try and cover that one on the top side of the map as he goes for the red buff. I think it should be able to go down to Acolyte here. So at least something going in the favor of Team Queso right now. They are about 10,000 gold behind it. Actually, I mean, Ezreal's literally just 1v1ing the Camille. That's a sad sight. There you go.
Goodness me. That's it. That was the story. Ezreal being able to win that fight. 1v1, very close up against Camille. Even though Acolyte used all of his resources, it was not enough. They jump in, a flash into the side. You have Nikita Fisher again, but Snitch is now legendary. Shark is not gonna connect. Memorize in middle of the fight. Double kill going over to Corki. He flashed in. Another triple kill going over to Corki. Man, this guy is a beast. Now guaranteeing goodbye. Blue team being aced against the red side. They want to go all in. They want to focus on the Nexus. Will Acolyte be able to defend this? He needs to clear the wave. That is going to be a tactical sweep, but he just ate a lot of damage from no team, no talent. They got the scale. They got the ace. Now they got game number 3.
And they will get the monthly finals, the August monthly finals of the Origin Series as well. And I think categorically cement themselves as the best team in Europe right now. Obviously, Group A and Group B have yet to have that cross play, but I think a lot of people are looking towards NTNT as the dominant team heading into those LAN finals later in September. Really excited to see how they match up. But for the time being, going to be honest with you, they didn't even make it look close. That was an incredibly easy series for Team NTNT. And I think Queso, as well as Gamelord, they're going to have a lot of thinking to do when it comes to tackling the problem of NTNT in another set of games.
Definitely, that was a very intense stop from no team, no talent. So you guys enjoyed that game number 3. Let us take a step back and look at the highlights.
I mean, every single game here. I mean, yeah, this is just. It was an error. It was a miscalculation.
Here comes Excandrel again.
I know. Look, I frown, I sigh because it looks so sad, but it was just a simple miscalculation. Like those kind of things definitely happen. So I'm not going to get too worried about it. But for the most part, it was just no team, no talent, way out in the lead, and also the fact that you were basically playing 4v5 the entire game because it was Garen support. So not much to say other than I think NTNT just were the better team all around here, Yuko.
It is. I guess they were just able to, get the win again, get the win conditions in check, even in the Rift itself. The way they play their game is very textbook. It was tight-knit. It was difficult for even Team Queso to try and put a hole in their plan. Could say that no team, no talent definitely prepared up against their fight. And the fact that they can juggle all of these champions and execute it perfectly in different drafts, in different situations, just shows how much they know the game like the back of their hand.
Yeah, they've got a lot of versatility, and I think that's one of the things that not many other teams in the European scene have right now. I think, as we said, one of the biggest criticisms for Team Queso has been that they have a very predictable style. It's a style that clearly worked against the team, like the likes of Gamelord, who weren't able to deal with it, but against NTNT, there was no chance. And NTNT are so flexible. They can play a huge variety of different champions. I think one of the things that I credit Snitch for specifically is that he isn't just a one-trick mid laner. Like he plays pretty much anything. Whereas a lot of other mid laners have got a more limited repertoire of champions, but it's the same for pretty much everybody. I think the only person that generally tends to play the same thing over and over again is Leon, but he does it so damn well that, why not change it? Or why change it, rather? You don't really have to. So I think overall, great series from NTNT, showed their versatility, showed their ability to deal with a very predictable draft from Team Queso. And obviously, one of the problems that I think Team Queso had is when they tried to move away from that I guess, comfort draft, they just didn't play as well. And NTNT just able to take that skill gap and exploit it.
True, they really did struggle. GG's for Team Queso, but for the fans of No Team, No Talent, congratulations, because your team is now the champion for the month of August. Now, we have an interview for you guys. Let's see who will be the player from No Team, No Talent. It's not gonna be Snitch.
It could be
Hello.
anybody. It could be
Oh,
anybody.
it could have been any of them.
Five of us. It could be anyone.
Well, Doom doesn't talk. Leon's a bit of a firecracker, so
Leon had a party to go to. Like, straight away to leave. Your Clue's French. He struggles. It's just tough stuff, really. I have to take the burden.
you have to take the burden, but it's
Sadly.
okay. It's okay. Well, we appreciate you, Snitch. First of all, LAN finals, pretty exciting. Are you guys hyped? You guys talked a lot about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're super excited. Obviously, only me and Doom have any real LAN experience. So Clue, for example, is a bit nervous. Some of our
bless
players are a bit younger. They're not super confident about being on stage and stuff. But I think me and Doom at least have a lot of experience between us that we can kind of share and make sure everybody's comfortable and playing on their best level.
Well, I actually asked a lot of deep or technical questions from Snitch, looking back into the previous days of Origin series. Now, my question is, will you enter Garen support in your team?
Honestly, I think not. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe they just had like a drop miscommunication. I guess it happens. We did used to ban Garen a lot. Maybe they thought that if we just saw Garen, we'd just fall apart and just start, running into mid tower or something. So I guess, maybe a viable strategy from that angle. But yeah, I'm not sure about the Garen support personally.
Is it a mental boom? I think it was a mental boom, mate.
Could've been.
You exposed the Kha'Zix Camille Ari draft, and they just didn't know what to do. But legitimately, I kind of want to get your thoughts on the rest of the competition in Group A specifically, because obviously I would ask about Group B and Group C, but you haven't had a chance to play them yet. But Group A, I think clearly you guys are a bit above the rest of the competition. Between Queso and Gamelord, they're probably the biggest other two competitors that you have, I think, for European dominance, I suppose. What is it that's kind of setting them back right now? Is it Queso? Because I feel like Queso, for instance, are a little reliant on certain drafts, for instance, right? What do you think that sets you apart from those two other teams?
I mean, I just think our advantages. I think the big one is just hero pool. I think our players are just way more confident on way more picks, and we just have a wider grasp on the meta. No matter the meta, honestly, no matter what the patch changes, it feels like we're always the team that's picking up picks first. We're picking up new junglers. We're picking up, new mid laners. We were playing some center lanes and stuff and this kind of thing, and it feels like we're kind of always establishing it. No one else is really making these huge marks on the meta like we are, and I think just the depth of strategies that we have as a result just naturally makes us better in draft. We always adapt our draft and our bans to kind of whatever team we're facing. Whereas other teams, for example, they ban the same champs every game, And you could say we used to do that with Garen, but that was because it was a throw ban. But we're so good at adapting to whoever we play. And I think other teams are a lot more rigid in their styles, and that makes it so it's harder for them to kind of be as competitive with everybody.
Confidence is definitely key for Snitch and for No Team, No Talent here. So again, congratulations for winning that series 3-0, by the way. What a stomp. So do you have any message to your teammates and to your fans out there?
Huge shout out to my team. Honestly, our team environment is so great. I have so much fun playing with these guys. It's honestly insane. Our comms in the game are just, if they ever release mic checks, you guys will see. We're always pogging out to everyone else's plays. I'm like, friend, that was an insane snipe. Whoa. It's so funny playing with these guys. Huge shout out to all of our fans who have been supporting us all the way through. We managed the online Grand Slam. Hopefully we could do well at the LAN finals. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, as a team and individually. Check out all of our streams. We're all streaming very actively. We'd love to talk with you guys and, share our gameplay. And we hope you have a great time watching Wild Rift. Thank you guys so much.
Right, and thank you too for giving us amazing games. That has been Snitch from No Team, No Talent. We will see you into the LAN finals.
Thank you.
I hope Snitch shines my shirt at LAN finals. He's a big star. I just don't know if I can take it, UK. If I meet that guy in real life, I think my knee's going to go weak.
You might faint.
I've had a really good time though. It's been great to see NTNT just continue to dominate. I think, as we said in the cast, I think one of the things, and Snitch built on it as well, is just that these guys don't have a bad draft. They basically can play pretty much everything, and I think that's one of the things that really sets them apart from the rest of the competition here. And we talked about it before. I think both Gamelord and Queso have a bit more niche in terms of what they actually like to play, but NTNT overall just super strong. This isn't that first series though. This is the Group B finals. A very interesting Group B finals actually, because both Unicorns of Love and Na'Vi got knocked out super early in that group phase.
True.
Which was we had a very different set of competitors for our final games.
And I actually like how we see the switch ups and again the storyline for this month. A lot of things definitely were a surprise to us, not just the picks, not just the meta, but the teams itself that were able to push through in the latter parts of the brackets. We saw a lot of Pantheon picks. Nami arguably one of the most picked support if I remember it correctly. But yeah, the ADCs and frontlineless damages are still pretty much there. And overall, am just looking forward to seeing how will they perform in LAN. LAN, of course, is a different setting. As Snitch did say, the nerves might jump in, but if you're confident, if you're cool enough, keep yourself grounded enough, you can make the magic happen.
I think right now, there's a lot of undiscovered talent in Europe as well, and I think across both Group B, Group C, and Group A, like even the rise of Singularity again. That Singularity started off being pretty, I would say, having a struggling in the June finals, came back a little bit in the July finals, then made it to top 4 in August. There's some really great players in the Singularity roster. For instance, the AD carry Joey Skaggs. I expect him to find his way into a top tier team sometime soon. He's got a couple of accounts in top 10 challenger on the European server, and so I think the Origin series has been a great area to see this undiscovered talent start to come through and start to make its way. But for now, I think realistically, you are just looking at the best team all round, and that is the NTNT roster. I don't really think that anybody right now is close to catching them. We have got a month until those LAN finals take place in Stockholm, Sweden, so plenty of time for the meta to change, plenty of time for people to catch up and try and get themselves on that level. But as Snitch said, one of the big strengths of NTNT has been that ability to adapt to the meta and constantly sort of adapt and innovate as well for this team.
Hopefully, in a month, our teams will be able to adjust, study the game more, and show us one hell of a LAN finals. Of course, questions is still lurking all over. Again, the date and the place has already been revealed. Hope I can be with you guys there. But if I'm not, I'm just gonna send my regards here in the live stream. But yeah, that is gonna be the game so far. But the stream is not done yet. Let's take a look at the updated rankings for the month of August.
Yep, you'll see it is going to be NTNT at 1,350, Team Kaiser 1,040, and I believe Gamelord snuck in as well at 922. So the top 3 teams there from Group A, 1, 2, and 3. So they are all sitting pretty at the top of the standings. You can see BTS, the closest team in terms of points beyond that at 618.
Man, top 4 definitely a cut above the rest. And now we have another set for the top 9. So top 4 though, UOL, Nav, Foot, and you have BKR 702 compared to SMB, which has 673.
Definitely a closer group here, and actually Na'Vi helped out by Baal, who were able to knock out BKR earlier on in the tournament, stopping any chance of BKR knocking Na'Vi out of a qualifying position. So UL and Na'Vi able to sneak in the top 2 spots here and qualify.
And for Group A, the 3 will qualify. For Group B, it's going to be 2. And for Group C, only 1. Now, if you have Cut Esports still in that top 1.
Yep, and Cut just able to, I think, were the most dominant team. Sunlight were definitely up there as well. Geek Fam is also it's not Geek Fam, that's the Southeast Asian team, Geek A. But yeah, I think overall, Cut were just the better team overall. I think in Group C they were able to dominate Group C pretty handily over the course of the last few months.
The Sunlight and Cut rivalry, apparently we did not see that for the month of August. Let's see if you're going to be seeing it into the LAN finals. But overall, that has been the 2 series for the day. I cannot stress this enough. Guys, the LAN finals will happen in September. Mark your calendars, tweet it out even, check your socials, make sure that you will have time to watch it, maybe in the live stream, maybe even in person. You guys decide. But again, that has been it for the last day. We have been your casters. I'm Yuko alongside Miss Expoundro. Do not forget to follow us on our socials, and we will see you in the grand finals.